Welcome everyone to Political Paradigm. I am Terry Ikumi. Now we're counting down to the governorship election in Edo State, and it's about 32 days before the election. Campaigns have begun in earnest, and the politicking in the state is quite high. So we're turning our attention to the Edo State governorship election, which will come up on the 21st of September. And I'm joined today by Honorable Billy Osawaru. He is a member of the All Progressives Congress and a member of the House of Representatives. Honorable, welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you, Terry, for having me.
And from the People's Democratic Party, he is the lead spokesman of Team Asue Media Organization and a deputy director of Diaspora Media, PDP Asue Ogie Campaign Organization, Deacon Darlington Okpebolo. Welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for having me.
I was almost caught in a twist there, calling you a name that's associated with the APC candidate. So welcome once again to Political Paradigm, gentlemen.
So it's actually a namesake,
Okay, but no political affiliation, I believe.
No political affiliation.
Okay, so let's talk about campaigns now which have begun, and I just want to get feedback from both of you what it's been like. We're a month away, give and take, from the elections. Both parties have commenced campaigns. So talk to us about how it's been for both your parties, what the reception has been as you go around and the state. Let me begin with Honorable Osawaru.
Thank you very much, Terry. Yes, for those that have been privileged to be in Edo State at this time, they will agree with me that it's been a momentum gathering, since APC, formally flagged off the campaign, and everything started from Edo South to Edo North, Edo Central. I mean, it's been something that those state people have been looking up to, and they've been very excited since this campaign started. And I think this momentum is gathering, and this is how we're going to get to 21st of September. And the excitement alone can tell you this is more of a referendum on who the person of Monday Okpebolo, also known as Pakomiza, is. A humble man that is pairing up with another humble man as a deputy governorship candidate, who is my colleague in the House of Reps, a guy I always look up to, when it comes to learning the ropes in the House of Reps. And he's been very helpful. That's the person of Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, also known as Denko. And with this pair, Edo State has not gotten it wrong. Bringing these two people out under the platform of APC, I tell you, the next 8 years is going to be something those state people have been looking up to, because this is the 8 years we have to actually right all the wrongs that have been wrong with PDP, for the past 8 years.
All right, so Deacon Okpebolo, you heard from Honorable Osawaru. I'd like to get your opening statement as well on what it's been like since the campaigns commenced.
It's been, thank you so much, Terry, for having me once more. It's been very exciting from the beginning. As a matter of fact, before now, they just started coming out. Our candidate, Aswe Odalo, has gone around, even before now, had gone around the whole 192 wards in Edo State. He has gone into consultation with every stakeholder in the state, even before the primary that produced him on February 22nd. So it's not new. He is not new to anybody any longer. He's been in the race. He's been in the race even more than those names he just mentioned. That just they took a long time battling who to be the governor, who to deputize each other between the two guys from the National Assembly. But on our part, from the word go, Aswe has set the ball rolling. He has gone into consultation with everybody, and the message is resonating. Everybody, both home and abroad, everybody is quite excited that the man of Aswe's pedigree is coming into politics. As a matter of fact, people are thanking him for offering himself to come and serve the state. It's not a pushover when it comes to the issue of achievement, what one has achieved personally in his choosing career, where he has been a business builder all over the world who is the reputable one at that. So the truth is that the Edo has never had it better than we have today in Obasanjo's regime. So if Aswan cannot come and tell you that he's going to erase all the good, beautiful development achievement we have seen under Obasanjo, of course he's going to build on them. You're going to build on them and even develop and go higher. So the truth of the matter is the word that is on the lip of every Edo citizen today is Aswe Odaro.
Well, we're going to talk extensively on, as you said, what foundations have been laid and what the plans are to either continue or deviate if it's in the best interest of the people. But I also want us to have a conversation that sort of encourages the people of Edo State that it would be an election that would be safe for everyone, because there are already concerns. So I'd like to hear from both of you to speak to these concerns about safety ahead of the election and what your political parties would do or preach to sort of dissuade any fears around violence ahead of the election. Mr. Kwebolo, please.
We are peace-loving people. Our candidate is a peace-loving man. He has not been known or associated with violence all his lifetime, so he won't start it now. We know those who encourage and who support violence in Edo State. The July 18 debacle is still there, the shooting that took place at the Benin airport on July 18. We have them on camera. Those they were counting guns and all forms of weapons around, shouting. People with that. The videos are everywhere. We know them. We know where they belong. They belong to the APC. They call themselves the lions and the tigers of Edo. But for us in Edo, we are peaceful. We are peace-loving. Aswe Godalo has been preaching from day one issue-based campaign, and he has never ever. I'm one of his spokesmen. As a matter of fact, as a lead spokesman of his campaign team, he has told us specifically that we should focus on issues.
Okay.
So
let me allow Honorable Osawaru speak from the perspective of the All Progressives Congress.
Thank you very much, Terry. Of course, you know APC as a progressive party. APC is a peaceful party. You cannot associate anything violence with APC. And I'm surprised that the lead spokesman started, by actually referring back to what happened at the Benin airport on the 18th of July. You're talking about people carrying guns. Somebody came in from Abuja and he got waylaid and attacked, by the team of Aswan Igodalo. I mean, why were they so concerned? Because of a court judgment, that said Philip Shaibu should go back as a deputy governor. Why would you have to go to the Benin airport and get boys to go attack? And somebody actually lost, an aide. So are you now saying that person shot his own aide? No, these are the kind of things that we knew Obaseki for. And it's very unfortunate that Aswan Igodalo just keyed into, something like that. So
okay, Honorable.
APC has never practiced anything violence. It has always been about the issues.
Okay, we will talk about those issues. Yes. I just want to draw your attention to something, and with regard to this issue of safety, because nobody wants violence, and I'm hoping that your individual parties at every rally would speak to the people and urge them to stay away from violence, because it's not what they stand for, if it's not what they stand for. But that notwithstanding, there's also some concern about the kind of makeup that your party has. I recall that the APC, the Obaseki, the government of Edo State had petitioned the IGP with regard to that issue you mentioned at the airport, and mentioned the name of Mr. Tony Kabaka, I think Tony Adun at the time. And there are concerns now with regard to him being described as a known thug who had openly declared to be a known cultist, and he seems to be at every campaign organized by the All Progressives Congress. Some people are saying that could raise some fear among the voters. What do you say?
Thank you, Terry. One more time. You say people can always bring up allegations. Again, you're calling people names, are trying to shame them. But again, these same people go to campaigns and they are able to rally, the crowd. They are able to rally the youth. And I just think, in order to kill a dog, you give it a bad name. That's what it is. You say if Tony Kabaka had anything to do with the July 18th event, how come he's still out there in the open going to rallies? And so he's just doing his thing. People love him. You know, he's a state youth leader, and he's out there, you know, rallying people for campaign. But ask yourself, or rather, let me ask the spokesman for the PDP, where are the Negbenekis? Where are the Ebo Stones? Where are all these people that took part in that violence of that day? Where are they right now? They are not even in the shores of Nigeria. They are nowhere to be found. Obasaki is hiding these people. Why can't they come to campaigns? So again, we are not all about calling people names. We are all about going to campaign on the issues. Going about where Oshomole stopped when it comes to the Red Roof, when it comes to, you know, the Benin Water Storm project that was almost completed 80%, which Obaseki was a part of, abandoned this project because of wickedness.
That will be part of the conversation.
Those issues because,
absolutely. So, Honorable Osawaru, that will be part of the conversation because we have Oshomole.
Deliver on where
can you hear me?
Stopped.
Oh, we have Oshomole supporting actively or leading the support for Mr. Okpebolo, and then we have Governor Obaseki leading for Asuwegi Dalu. Clearly, these are governors who have done 8 years. Obaseki is rounding off his 8-year tenure. And it would be nice to know what justification, a moral justification based on the antecedents that they have to push this candidate. But I think Mr. Okpebolo would like to respond to some of the things you had said about Mr. Kabaka and the issue of violence, because you mentioned some names questioning why they had not been invited as well.
Thank you. My brother, I didn't want to be mentioning it, but he started it. If an honorable member could come to a Nigerian national television and a station that is being viewed by the whole world and tell us today that Tony Kabaka, who is a known town, a very notorious one at that, who boasts on TV, boasts on videos and everywhere that he is touting gun and everywhere that he is a known, he does all the kind of criminalities in Edo State. That is a youth leader. He's a youth leader of APC in Edo State, if you must know. He is associated with them. He has boasted, he continues to boast that he is the head of the Tigers and the Lions in Edo State. If an honorable member could come to a national TV and say Tony Kabaka, a man that has been known for violence in time, you can't even remember, way back in the early 2000s, from one government to another, a celebrated one at that, who live and feeds and become whatever he has become today through violence, through criminalities of all sorts. I wonder what kind of honorable we are having.
Mr. Okpebolo, we will talk about, just before we go into governance and the manifesto of the candidate, I want us to talk about, to do some politicking, considering how some have, reacted to the importance of Mr. Philip Shaibu and his contribution to the last election that brought in Obaseki for his second term. I'd like to know from you what his departure from the PDP means for your party. And I will throw the same question to Honorable Osawaru to know what exactly Philip Shaibu's return to the APC means.
Thank you, Terry. Before I quickly answer that, I would like to point again to my friend, the spokesman for the PDP, to understand the difference between, you calling people names and allegations, placing allegations on people. I mean, when you are making those false allegations, you should be putting out facts out there. I mean, I should be seeing judgments from you where this person was convicted. All I want to speak to here are the issues. But I just told you the position Tony Kabaka holds in the party and how he's rallying, the people to, we are going for election. That's what matters right now. So that by the side, yes, talking about Philip Shaibu coming to the party, of course, the more the merrier for us. When you see people coming to APC, that's an attraction. And again, we are not bringing only Philip Shaibu, or we have not brought only Philip Shaibu to the party. We are bringing other notable people, political heavyweights, in the state to APC. So, where, of course, for people, Philip Shaibu's antecedents, when Obaseki was running, he was there, he backed him up, and he supported him in everything they did. So, but again, He is here with us now. We want to actually tap on the positive strength, the strength of Philip Shaibu.
If Honorable Pebolo can hear me, just before your network went off, I asked about the concerns you may have or otherwise around the person of Philip Shaibu, the Deputy Governor of the States, walking away from a party and returning to the All Progressives Congress. And some have said that his strength as a politician cannot be undermined in Edo State. He boasts about helping Obaseki win his second term against the godfatherism, as he
I think we are good now.
As he put it then. So maybe you want to respond.
Philip Shaibu is someone who has no relevance in his own Edo North. When he was with us in 2020 during the election of himself and Godwin Obaseki, we didn't win his local government. So it's not something that anybody can lose sleep about in Edo State as a whole. That Shaibu has come back to the PDP.
So are you also concerned about this? Let me just draw your attention to this.
Okay.
The last election into the National Assembly produced only one PDP federal lawmaker. Are you concerned about that? Because we had 6 members of the House of Representatives on the platform of the APC, and then 2 senators. The rest of the positions, 3 were filled by Labour Party members.
Why I'm not concerned about that is that that issue was addressed during the state assembly election, where the PDP cleared everything. The national election, the presidential and national assembly election, PDP went into that race fragmented. We had a PDP then that we were fighting against ourselves in the party. That, of course, that was where people like the current senator representing our Senate, our Senatorial district, Mondo Perolo, ordinarily, even that people become anything, we would have won that seat. But we went into a race where a group of people decided to say it must be them, that if it's not them, nothing else will happen. Then the rest people said, okay, instead of us to support this one that is going for 10, don't forget there was a case of no third term in Edo Central. Edo Central has been known for PDP since its inception, since the National Democracy started 25 years ago. We have had all the senators, all the seats for PDP, even both the House of Reps and the Senate. But this time around, last year's election was very peculiar. It was peculiar in the sense that PDP, even was at the eve of the election, we were still battling within ourselves who will be the senator, who will get the ticket. We were in court even to the last day of the election. So in that aspect, in that area, what would you expect? Monday quickly, he cashed in. He was able to benefit from all the fragmented issues that we had in PDP. That was how he won. So it's not as if the PDP went to that fight or to that contest united.
Yeah, are you united now? Because I know that Honorable Omosade, who was a member of the House, has just left.
I told you just now that error was corrected during the state assembly.
So that's why I'm asking, was it truly corrected? Because just last week, she said she left the party, and she left because she said that the original members of the PDP were not being carried along in the...
That is the problem. That is the problem some of them have. They don't even know who the original members are. Who are the original, who are not the original? Every member of PDP is a member of PDP. I don't know what they mean. Do they have fake members?
I think she was referring to. I think she was referring to when Mr. Obaseki and Shaibu joined the PDP because of the situation at the time. PDP already had its structure. I think that's what she was referring to.
The truth of the matter, we wanted Obaseki to join the party. In 2020, when he had issues with the APC, as it were, he came and he joined, and he was embraced. A sitting governor automatically becomes the leader of the party. So some people didn't want to have him as the leader. But structurally, PDP is structured to see a governor being the leader of a party. And he came, and he needed that to be accorded that respect. But those who have been on ground, who have been dwelling, who have been feeding and surviving in opposition, they didn't want him to be. They wanted to see the status quo to still be maintained. But Obaseki said, no, things cannot no longer be like this.
So till this moment, that has not been addressed because they are still aggrieved.
Well, anybody that is still aggrieved today in Edo PDP is a personal thing. It's not as far as party is concerned. Edo State PDP is in good and safe hands with Obaseki. There is no acrimony. Those that are angry, those that were disgruntled, they have left the party. They have gone to join them. Whether they have even accepted them in APC, I don't know. I heard some of them are still waiting in the purgatory. Waiting in the reserve seat. Whether they,
let me throw it to Honorable Osawaru, please, when we talk about party unity, because it would seem that we see what looks like an opposite in the APC. We see the likes of Izeyamo, who was a candidate in the last election, is supporting the candidates now. We see Senator Rogide, who was initially aggrieved as well, as part of it. And so it seems like your party is leveraging or on the unity of purpose. So perhaps you could speak to us about that and address the advantage of having your party present two career politicians against technocrats going into this election.
Thank you very much, Terry. Again, that shows how progressive APC is. Politics is a game of numbers. So any politician that tells you because we have lost one person or two people, it doesn't matter, just being disingenuous. They just don't want to be, factual. I'm so glad, Terry, that you brought up the issue of the last year's elections. So PDP could not produce even one person in the National Assembly. Apart from the former Speaker, Honorable Marcus Onobu, who actually held his own election as a supplementary election that came, through the PDP. All others, APC and Labour took it, mostly APC. So what does that tell you? You're telling me that it was corrected during the House of Assembly? Of course, we knew what happened. But again, that shows how unpopular Obaseki was and how unpopular it still is now. And I'm so glad the spokesperson has actually confirmed that they've had these internal wranglings in PDP, which has not gone. So, Terry, you already know. It's just that they don't want to come to terms with reality that PDP, is going down by the day.
So I think personally that we're done with the issue of politics. So we're going to go into governance now and the manifesto of your part.
If you just allow me to respond once to what he mentioned about APC gaining.
Okay, quickly, in 60 seconds, let me get your response to that.
I just wanted to let an honorable member of there know that APC has a national problem. Nigeria, Edo State is part of Nigeria, and the problem bedeviling Nigeria today is caused by APC maladministration since 2015, and it trickles down, and Edo State is finding it very difficult to even adopt. So whatever it is, people in Edo, they don't want to hear about APC. I don't know why you're talking about APC is gaining ground. They don't want to hear about APC at all.
Okay, so that brings me to the issue of governance. I had said that we will look at the antecedents of your individual backings, Oshomole and Obaseki. Interestingly, they've both been governors. And now you talk about the state of the nation, the poverty and all that. So I'm going to ask you, with regard to how Obaseki has run the state in the last 7.5 years, almost 8 years now, what do you think is the reason that people of Edo State will vote for this candidate that he's backing fully?
Well, first and foremost, I must let you know that Obaseki has brought governance to the people. Obaseki has created a lot of awareness that people didn't know before. Governance in Edo today is open. Everybody sees what is happening. As a matter of fact, Edo State is about the number one or the only state today that is into e-governance. So you don't even need to be carrying files up and down in Edo State today before you know you have your issues sorted in Edo. And this is all thanks to Obaseki. Edo State today, even before the federal government joined the 70,000 minimum wage, Edo State has paid 70,000 minimum wage for about 3 months before the federal government adopted. So the workers' welfare has been one of the cardinal points of Obaseki's administration, which he has done. He has not joked with. Where others were on 30%, he was on 40. A minimum wage was on 40K. Right now, we others were trying to see battle with that 40 to 35. He already joined, started doing 70,000. And today you look at the industrial development in Edo State, they wouldn't know on all these things because a lot of them, most of them, what they say is MOU. But the MOU has brought a lot of, you have companies, cassava company in Edo today. We have the Okomo oil that is being expanded. We have a lot of things happening in Edo today. And what the modular refinery is there, the Osomo power plant is there. So a lot of things is happening. The road construction in Benin is just like a construction site today. Edo State, not just Benin. Look at the Edo South is there. We have videos. I can forward them to you. I have videos of roads done by Obaseki from the south to the east. I mean, to the south, to the west and central, everything, Edo South, Edo Central, Edo North, all the roads constructed are there. They are documented. You know the story of pensioners in Edo when Shomole was the governor, how they were dying, waiting, and some of them dying, falling down, collapsing on queues. But today, they don't need to do all that. They don't need to come and queue up and be doing stuff. What Obaseki has introduced is ensuring that these people who have served the state in their young time, when they are now old, they get their payment. They get all payment as at when due.
Okay, so let me throw the same question to Honorable Osawaro to respond to Oshomola's 8 years in office as governor. And perhaps he would want to respond to you with regard to the issues you raised, infrastructure and salary. You know, statistically, Edo State is still bedeviled by infrastructure death, and there are concerns around unemployment and poverty in the state. So perhaps you would want to speak to what your candidate also did in that regard, because he also said, and as politicians who have been in office, who got into office recently, have said that this is not a decade that started today and cannot be addressed right away. Honorable Osawaro.
Well, Terry, thank you for helping me fact check the spokesman there. You have just everything he mentioned. I think you have debunked them because unless for those that have not been to Edo State recently, that will only agree with what he has said. How can you be talking about infrastructural development in Edo State for the past 8 years? I have not seen where Obaseki has been inspecting roads. Those things ended when Senator Adazo Shomole left as a governor. Yes, you might hate Shomole, but there's one thing you can't take away from him. Even the PDP people will tell you that Shomole worked. That was the last time we saw things like Red Roof. People began to take their children from private schools to public schools because of what Shomole did to education in Edo State. That's when we began to see roads, even secondary secular, when landlords were already moving out of their houses because of the deep gully. But Oshomole was able to fix it. The Mami water right there at the teacher's house. It was Oshomole's time. They were able to chase that Mami water and they were able to fix that road. All these roads are still standing. This is just in Edo South. Go to Edo North. Even better, go to Edo Central. Those are not things you can hide. Yori Oshomole, of course, you will agree with me. That's when Edo started seeing infrastructural development. Since he left, we don't have those things anymore. Let the rain fall now in Edo State. Go to Benin, the GRA, always flooded. So I don't know what my gentleman is talking about. I know you are in the diaspora. I don't know the last time you came to Benin. So if you have come to Benin recently, I don't know. I don't think you'll be saying what you are saying now. So what do we mean by Obaseki bringing good governance? Do you know what good governance is? A good governor will not engage in capital flight, bringing people from outside the state to do the jobs other Edo State people can do, bringing consultants that will later become doing the jobs of the people they brought them to consult for. So what are you talking about? Obaseki does not employ people in Edo. Obaseki would rather employ people from Rivers, Lagos, outside of those states. That is what we call capital flight, because every dime that is made by those people does not stay in those states. So what are we talking about? A governor that would rather build a supermarket close to a Kiosa market, where our mothers are making their own living? And you want to compete with them? Today, fire gutted the Kiosa market some years ago. What did he do? He did nothing. And those people had to shut down. And he shut down that market because he set up Jara. Why would Obaseki be engaging in those kind of activities where you want to compete with our own mothers? By building Jara today, tomorrow is not ShopRite. By closing down the library. So again, we need to understand when you are talking about governance, what has he been doing? A governor that shut down a Waterstone project. Waterstone project where his own company was the consultant, AfriInvest, to borrow money from the World Bank to set up a Waterstone project that was already completed 80% by Oshomole's administration, just for Obaseki to believe in continuity and bring 20% to complete that Waterstone project. But he never did it. If he had done that project today, Benin City will not be the way it is today.
I think it's important to point out that Benin City is not the only city in Edo State. So it is also good to look at how governance has spread across the rest of the state. But I would let Mr. Okpebolo respond to you.
That is a problem. That's the problem they have. Edo State starts and ends in Benin City. That is why you see them talk about everything Benin City, Benin Waterstone. If Oshomole had completed that Waterstone that was budgeted for about 30 billion naira was spent on, we would have been having the flooding he talked about in Benin today. So all the story of Benin, Edo State didn't start and end in Benin. We have other local governments in the state. What did he do? We talk about red roof, every time red roof. When you talk about red roof, you're talking about building the infrastructure of the school. How about putting teachers? How about just last week, about 5,500 teachers were employed by Obaseki administration. So how about Edo State being the best in education in Nigeria? That's so much a state that is has their own APC states in Lagos State talking about coming to Edo State to model what is happening there.
Okay.
It's not just about...
Okay, so I think it's time for us to move on to the candidates themselves and talk about their manifesto. So I wanted to get you to speak from the point of view of the two technocrats that you have as governorship and deputy governorship candidates, because Obaseki was also a technocrat when he came into office, and it was expected that he would do better than career politicians. So could you speak to us about the manifesto of Mr. Asue Ighodalo, which is, I think, Pathway to Prosperity for All?
Yeah, pathway to, at least Asue Ighodalo has a manifesto for people to talk about. A pathway to prosperity by Asue Ighodalo was unveiled and is categorized into different segments, all segments of governance. They are all captured inside, from education to security to infrastructure, sports, youth and sports development. Everything is well captured there. And of course, the diaspora also. One of the things he talked about security. He was so concerned. He's so concerned. If you look at the document, he's so concerned about security. And he said nothing will happen. No developmental stride can really take place in the state without facing the security situation. And this is what he said he was going to do. He was going to face head on with a technology, putting in technology in place to ensure that the security situation in the state is tackled. That if this issue is not tackled, it will be difficult for people to go to farms. Between the first year in office, that security situation in the Edo State is going to change for the better. Apart from that, he talks about investment drive. He also came, he was in the UK, he just finished his tour in Europe recently. In the UK. Now he talked about ensuring enabling environment for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to come and invest from home, bring their investment home to the state, and he ensured that the investment is secured. That if they are not secured, we have stories in the past where people will say they even call as common as building houses, that they will say their families or their friends, they embezzled their money. And he said in his time, all these things is only going to create an environment where all this investment, all this inflow of cash into the state will be secured. These are the things he's looking at. These are two aspects I thought he has taken very seriously.
Okay, so we will take I will throw questions to both your candidates, to both of you for your candidates, with specific details with regard to how the living conditions of the people in Edo State can be improved going forward. But it's intentional not to ask too much about the candidates because we would like to have them speak to us. I don't know why they've not spoken to us yet. I've been trying to get both of them to speak. Neither has obliged. But let me ask Honorable Osawaru now to respond to you, because one of the things you said is that you haven't seen the manifesto of Senator Monday Okpebolo, even though I know that during the campaign, I think last week, Monday, he talked about a 5-point agenda, which had to do with security, infrastructure development, education, agriculture, and I think water provision. Is that a working document, or is this one of those campaign promises that he just made?
Terry, again, thank you. Why I'm so glad is because everything my gentleman is saying there, you keep fact-checking him and actually proving him wrong, because with him saying he doesn't have one does not make it true. So again, when you go out there, just Google, you will find his manifesto right there. So again, I'm not surprised, because best of the same feather, we are all speaking on behalf of our candidates. If you listen to the gentleman there, you will know that he himself is behaving like the.
Now, this is your opportunity to speak for your candidates, not to the guests.
No. Again, what I'm saying is,
you sell your candidates, not address him.
He's talking about what Aswan believes in. Again, it's a shame that he started by saying a pathway to prosperity. Then that means Aswan actually agrees that there's no prosperity, and there has been no prosperity for the past 8 years under Obaseki. That's an indictment too. So again, what are we talking about? Since Oshomole left, there has been no prosperity in Edo State. That's why Aswan Igodaro's manifesto is talking about pathway to prosperity. Again, our own manifesto by Akpakomiza is actually talking about those things Oshomole started that he wants to continue with. And one of them is the infrastructural development. And we all know where Oshomole stopped. And you're talking about, red roof. Yes, red roof was statewide. But you could only, just disparage what Oshomole did. But you could not even name one red roof Obaseki put down. Not in Edo South, not in Edo Central, not in Edo North. Is that not a shame? Is that not an indictment on the part of Obaseki, who has
once again, Honorable Osawara, I want to put you on the path to speak for Mr. Senator Okpebolo.
Again, we are starting with infrastructure. Let's go to the education. You're talking about
Honorable Osawara, 1 second.
If you go to my federal constituency right now, Igbanke is a community in my federal constituency in Orion local government. Is it not a shame to know that the community people are actually paying some of the teachers right now? Terry, you can fact check me when I finish. It's a shame that during Obaseki, the community in Igbanke, they are paying teachers to teach their children in a government public school. Is that not a shame? And you are talking about
Honorable Osawaru, once again, I want to put you on the path where you speak for your candidate. Could you speak about his antecedents and tie that to the promises he's already made with this 5-point manifesto?
When I'm speaking about this, Terry, one thing I want you to understand, I'm doing a comparative analysis. I just told you when it comes to infrastructural development, he has already pointed it out that he's going to continue from where Oshomole stopped. All this infrastructural development, all the good roads we saw during Oshomole, he said he's going to continue with it, which some of those things I know people are clamoring for right now. When it comes to education, he said he's going to continue with the red roof. We know these are the things our children need. So again, talking about security, Terry, again, fact check me. I have more than 4 petitions on my desk as we speak, coming from Edo State because of the companies Obaseki have brought through his MOU that have been taking the land from our people. They have been taking the land with the promises that they want to set up farms. All the promises they made that they want to set up farms, they are not doing nothing yet, but rather grabbing the land of our villagers, put their own who makes money from farming.
Let me take you up on something you said.
Our people are complaining.
Honorable Sawaro, this is not a fact check, but it's just a follow-up on what you said, because antecedents are really important. One of the things that the Edo State government under Obaseki prides itself in is in education, development of education, which you've questioned. We'll talk about the Edo Best eventually.
They won't understand
but then the question is, with regard to education, the concerns around taking the state backward if Senator Okpebholo becomes governor have also been raised, and it's because of his educational background. There are concerns as to whether a man who doesn't have the educational background can focus on education in the state.
Well, Terry, if you say that, I think a government is not made of one person. I don't know what you mean by talking about somebody's educational background is going to determine how the educational sector is going to do in a state. I'm sure you know Oshomole's background. Oshomole is not a professor. Oshomole does not have a PhD. Oshomole will pride himself by letting you know he was a labor leader, he was a tailor. But during his time, those state people had one of the best when it comes to education. He knew how to provide good structures, for the children to learn, good environment for the children to learn, for people to be taking their children from private schools to public school. That was a man that did not have a PhD. So when you start talking about this, Terry, I'm not sure where you are going with this, but I want to tell you right now that one man does not make a whole government. So this man knows how to work with other people. Akpakomiza has demonstrated over time that he knows how to work with a good team that will do the right thing. So when we are talking about this, I don't think that is fair.
Okay, great. Let me go to Mr. Okpebholo. I'm sure you'd want to respond to some of the things that Honorable Sawaro has said. However, I would like you to speak to what Mr. Ighodalo brings to the table with regards to the corporate world, the private sector, because he claims to have also thrived in that area. But I'll also want to know, because Edo State right now statistically isn't doing well with regard to small businesses.
Yeah, first of all, I must commend you for trying to always bring my honorable member back on track. Each time he intentionally, deliberately deviate from the narrative. You ask questions about what Akpakomiza is doing. He's talking about people collecting his land, the villagers' land in Orion. I wonder how does that fit into the discussion of the day. Now, let's go to, I've told you about, let's first of all tell us the website where to see Akpakomiza's, what's it called, a manifesto. Let him bring the website, let's know where to see that, because nobody knows where it is. Then, as for Ighodalo, like I said, is someone who has created investment in many parts of this world. He has said times without number that he's going to ensure that these small and medium investors, businessmen and women in Edo State are encouraged. He went as far as saying women will be given loans, soft loans, interest-free loans, and they will be encouraged to invest. We have so many of them around in Edo State. The opportunities, like he said from the word go, the opportunities are there. It's just for them to come out and say, okay, this is what I want to do. Everything is on that manifesto. This is what I want to do. We'll look at the possibility, feasibility of the business you want to do. We'll encourage them. We'll put out money, monitor them. Ensure it's not just to give them money and leave them. We'll monitor them to ensure that the business grows.
I want to see if Honorable Sawaro has a rebuttal to what you're saying.
When I was talking about those issues, I was actually telling you what the manifesto says. And I started with infrastructural development. I went to security. I went to education, and there's water provision. All those are things that make up his manifesto. Again, you're talking about a website. I just told you, Google is the easiest thing you can go to right now. Google Okpebholo Manifesto is right there.
Does he have a website? Does he have a website? Is there a website for Okpebholo?
You can go. I can actually get that for you, Terry. But
no, I want to know where it's uploaded. Where is it uploaded? Forget Google.
As we speak now, you Google, because that's
I have Googled. I have Googled.
Yeah, but if you have found something,
Honorable, 1 second.
Just say
Honorable,
Okpebholo,
1 second.
hold on.
1 second. 1 second. I have Googled. I have seen that he mentioned key points in a rally. That's why in the initial question I asked you, I asked, is there a working document that is accessible? So if you say Google, if I Google, what comes up is Okpebolo speaking at a rally saying this is my 5-point manifesto. Is that enough, or is there a document that can be pointed at?
Yes, there is. Even if you have listened to the campaign that flagged off last week, you will see that those manifestos have been talked about. So again, like I said, I will get you that working document, but it's already there. It's already out there. So for my friend to pretend he doesn't know there is a manifesto, what can you do? If I put your name on a Google and I say Terry Kumi, and it comes up and tells me about you, so does that mean it doesn't exist?
No, if I want to upload it, I will upload it somewhere that I can point to you to say, go check this particular place. I won't depend on what any other person has put out there.
Terry, you will agree with me that the easiest way you actually quickly get out information
is Google.
You Google and see if it really exists.
Well, where does the Google point to? Okay, so there is no working document available yet.
But again, let me go back to your question. Yes, there is a working document, and you will get it. And it's even better than the man that is reading from his own piece of paper. They're talking about, Terry, does that sound familiar to you? When my friend there talking about, a technocrat that we do this, he wants to do that. Of course, that sounds familiar. That is something we knew about Baseki. That was how the MOU came about. He will do this, he will do that. How many did he? Aswan Igodalo today can only tell you, I will do this, I will do that. But charity begins at home. This man, according to the spokesman, has done this, has done that worldwide. But come to his own motherland, there is no one thing to show. This man even exists until he started running for governor. So when he even looked for where his father came from, there was nothing, like not even a borehole. But Akpakomisa is not coming to tell you I will do this, I will do that. He has already done, and he will continue to do.
Okay, so what has he done? I want Mr. Okpebolo to respond to what you've just raised, but I want to first hear from you the antecedents of Mr. Okpebolo, like you said, that he's done already.
I'm glad that he mentioned that Edo Central was predominantly PDP before Okpebolo ran for Senate. So for a man to break that record, then you should know that he was doing something nobody could do. This man was out there busy building houses for widows. This man was sinking boreholes for community people. This man was putting free transportation out there. So his people embraced him. They embraced him, and that's why he won overwhelmingly. I mean, when nobody took him to court to say that he didn't win his election, he won. So you could ask yourself, a man that was able to break that jinx, right from the days of Panelli in PDP, then you want to tell me that the man just came out, people didn't know him, and they voted for him. This man has been doing.
So in essence, you say nobody knows Igodalo. So let me throw it to Mr. Okpebolo now to speak.
He has been going around, traveling around to talk about himself.
Let me tell you.
Recognition. That was
Honorable Osawaru. It's his turn now. Honorable Osawaru. Honorable Osawaru.
Tell me what.
Just a second, Honorable. Let me hear from Mr. Okpebolo.
The problem is very difficult to sell lies. It's very difficult, especially in a world where everybody is technology.
So what's the truth about Mr. Igodalo with regard to his track record?
Igodalo, you can go to www.askoigodalo.com. You see all his website there. This man asked us to go to Google. What we saw in Google is Okpebolo talking about how we do this. There is no manifesto. There is nothing there. So that aside, then Igodalo on his own, he said, give the question again, please. He said,
his track record. He says nobody knows him. There's no track record of him doing anything, not even for his community.
He said in his really, that's what he said. That is a very big lie. A very big lie. A big lie in the sense that Igodalo is not a stranger to a lot. If he might be, when it comes to politics, a lot of people they want to even the Oshomole himself. We have a video where Oshomole was praising him. But the other day, you hear him talking about it's not electable on this thing. So this honorable talking, so I won't even take his word for anything because APC, they are known for that. In the Udalo's village, a lot of people have been on his scholarship for over 15 years. A lot of people. I cannot give you a round number yet, but a lot of people have been under his scholarship for the past 15 years. He has his house, his father's compound is there. This man has a very strong, apart from this scholarship for students in his community, he has a lot of women that he takes care of. A lot of women who are unable to do anything that he gives loan to. He gives money to, not even just loan. He gives them, it will start as if it's a loan, but he leaves it for them to go into all kinds of trades in his community. He sinks boreholes around everywhere near the community. That was even before he even thought about becoming whatever the governorship is going for right now.
So let me hear your closing statement with regard to your candidate and why he is the best for Edo State.
Yeah, why my candidate is the best for Edo State is because Edo State is, first of all, too sophisticated for mediocrity. So when you see people who do not know the difference between zoo and what you call a museum and zoo coming to become governor, a governorship candidate who has about 4 different dates of birth coming to say they want to become governor, we don't have that in our camp. This man is a clean gentleman. All his track record, all his academic background, everything is clean, is there. He knows what he is doing. He has the international connection. He has the business connection across Nigeria. That's one. Then across the globe also to attract strong investment, both local and international, to the state.
Okay, Honorable Osawaro, now your closing statement on your candidate, and I must say before you say that I went to the website. It's actually mondayokpebolo.com, and it has nothing to do with his governorship ambition. There's no manifesto there for the forthcoming governorship election. I guess it needs to be updated. But your closing statement on your candidate and why he is the best for Edo State.
Yes, Terry, thank you. You said you needed a working document. I told you it exists. So going to the website that has not been updated has nothing to do with making that a false statement. But again, what I want to quickly tell you there is something sounds familiar again. MOU. He will do this, he will do that. That is not what I mean. If Aswan Igodalo has been doing things for his people, how come he went to his father's land and he could not even speak his language? A man that was using an interpreter to talk to his own people. That's a man you say, you can come out and give out false information now, but I'm sure at the end of the day, that would do more harm than good because those things don't exist. Aswan Igodalo has not been sponsoring women. Aswan Igodalo has not been doing no scholarship for nobody. But for Monday, Okpebolo, you already know he has been doing those things and he wants to continue to do those things. That is different from who wants to do. He's a sitting senator. For a man that is a sitting senator, you are talking about issues with his credentials. Of course, we know you are not being truthful. But again, who has a case in court today? Who has a case with voters' card forgery? Aswan Igodalo. Did you hear anything about Akpakomiza? The answer is no.
Okay.
So Akpakomiza has been doing it. He will continue to do it. And by the grace of God, Akpakomiza becomes the next governor. Come 21st of September 2024.
Just before I say goodbye to both of you, in perhaps 60 seconds each, I want to throw in what they call a spanner in the wheel of Nigerian politics, the Labour Party, and concerns around the chances of the Labour Party. Or do you think that the race is just between the PDP and the APC and then you're ruling out the Labour Party? Honorable Osawaro.
The race is between Labour Party and APC.
Okay.
For a party like PDP that is depleting every day, I don't see any basis for even talking about running against PDP right now. So the race is between Labour Party and APC. And with the way the number is swelling in the camp of APC, of course, politics is a game of numbers. You can already tell that APC is going to win this election come September 21st.
So, Mr. Okpebolo, please.
Yeah, first of all, I was discussing with somebody just now before this meeting, and I said I really wonder how some of these people came into position. The other time we saw the EJ and this man also. They talk, and I wonder how they got to where they are. They talk with so much bitterness in them and with so much informed zest.
You have 60 seconds.
Now, I tell you what. With so many surveys have been done, even this business day and all that. This their candidate is far distance fourth. Third position, distance. So the race is APC is not even in the race as far as we are concerned. When there is another party, NMPP, that is even struggling the third position with them. It's just PDP 65%. Then the next is Labour. So it's not. I don't even know where he is having his from. He's just sits in his office.
I think it's interesting that you both see the Labour Party as the next contender. But in all, I'd like to say a very big thank you to both of you for finding time to come speak on this issue, and I'm hoping that we could get your candidates to come speak themselves. Let me begin with Deacon Darlington Okpebolo. He's a lead spokesman, Team Aswe Media Organization, and director at the Directorate of Diaspora Media, PDP Aswe Ogie Campaign Organization. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Terry. But I can assure you that his candidate will never.
Are you coming back to vote?
Yeah, of course, my ticket is short.
Okay.
He's not registered.
He's not registered.
He's not registered.
Honorable Billy Osawaru.
Go and check my, what you call the annex register.
Honorable Billy Osawaru, I'd like to also thank you for your time. Honorable Osawaru is a member of the House of Representatives on the platform of the PDP, of the APC, and he's from Edo State.
Terry, thank you. I wanted to understand because he said, I don't know where they are bringing them from. EJ and myself, I'm a sitting member of House of Reps right now.
EJ is a former member. Very well, thank you. Okay.
These are people that
well, gentlemen. Thank you very much, gentlemen. But I think this is where we say goodbye. And it's interesting that both have talked about the Labour Party and coming in second ahead of each other. So next week we'll try to get the Labour Party candidates, or candidates specifically, to be here. Mr. Olumide Akpata has been all over the news, canvassing for support from the people of Edo State. So thank you very much to my guests. Once again, if you'd like to get details and more from this episode, please go to channelstv.com or go to YouTube and search Political Paradigm. Thank you very much for your time as well. I'm Terry Ikumi.